So we want to introduce her very quickly. Um, just a reminder, Tectonica mission is to help women and non-binary adults to overcome barriers into the tech industry. And we know that that first barrier is learning how to code and finding that first job in the field. But first, a surprise. We want to give a Latinx one of our laptops. Part of the program, our program is including a laptop for people that need it. So if you go to this direction, and Michelle can put it in the chat, help me with that, and fill out the form, we will announce the winner at the end of the meeting. And hopefully it will be somebody that is here. So don't don't let pass this opportunity. A little about the program. We are a full-time program, and it means that you will be with us 6 months of learning full-time. We know that you will not have the opportunity to work and do the program at the same time. And that's the reason we have limited stipends and laptops available for our participants. And after those 6 months of learning, you will have 6 months of placement, or if we can place you in one of our partners companies, you will have our support in the job search for finding that first job. As I was saying before, we really know that the one of the biggest barrier for underrepresented people in tech is finding that first job, and we are fully aware of that. Um, so we are a nonprofit and we have a target audience. We want to help Black, Latinx, and Indigenous women and non-binary adults. We don't have age cutoff with low incomes, um, and we want to help that target audience because it's the people that is most in danger of displacement and most underrepresented in tech. And I think we all here know that is true. And that's the mission of Tectonica, and that was the whole idea uh, behind Michelle creating this nonprofit. Um, so we are a little different of the boot camps that you will find there in the wild, and one of that is that we are completely free, and we will not ask a percentage of your first salary. And why we don't do that? Because we believe in empowering underrepresented people. We don't try to create more barriers, and we don't try to add additional burden to families that are already fighting and surviving with the paycheck by paycheck. And we really believe that diversity is valuable to all companies. Um, uh, Sorry, I don't have my mouse. We really are working on a community impact, and we believe that companies that invest in diversity and in junior talent, they gain so much. And we have partners companies and partners advocacy that believe really in this mission with us, and we are trying to alleviate displacement and income disparity in those underrepresented people and folks on the tech industry. Um, so here is on a slide about the characteristics of the person that we seek for to be a participant in Tectonica, but instead of just reading this slide, I want to talk a little about what these things means to us and why we talk about it. So what resilience actually means for us. We know that this will be a very scary new thing to all of participants. It's something that you never done, and you probably will be the first in your family doing. So you don't have support, or you haven't seen this before, and you need to remember that to yourself and try to overcome that that feeling that you are doing something very scary and totally getting out of your comfort zone. That's what resilience means to us. And what autonomy means. We are searching for people that is able to not just follow the instructions, but ask more questions and clarification questions, are able to find other resources, because the resources that we give them doesn't fully make click with them. We are not saying at any moment that you only need to follow our resources or our curriculum. The internet is full of things that could help you to learn the new things that you need to learn. And we are searching those people that are have the autonomy to look for the things that they need to learn and learn by themselves. What coachability means for us, well, um, we're we're a semi self-taught program. So it means that we will give you goals to learn for the day, but we will not have lectures, and we will not have, we're a nonprofit. We don't have teachers or teacher assistants to do a lecture of a topic, but we will give you goals for learning for the day, and you will have a plan for each one of the days of what you need to learn, and you need to be able to follow that plan and that guides, and be able to work with us in the curriculum that we are providing you. What positivity and adaptability means for us, you will receive a lot of feedback during our program, and you need to receive that feedback in a professional way and in a positive way. And you need to be comfortable being uncomfortable with some feedback, and with some feelings of I'm not quite learning this, or I'm not quite understanding this. And we are searching for that kind of people. Um, Collaboration, it means for us, because that you need to know how to work in groups, because we really believe in things like pair programming and working as a group. And you will have uh, assignments and pair programming exercise working on groups every single day. And we are not searching for persons that don't like to work with people. Quite the opposite, actually. We are searching for people that have curiosity, because the tech industry and the tech fields are huge, and we don't have the ability of teaching you everything. So it's really also up to you to learn, and to go deeper a little in the things that are interest to you, and have that curiosity of searching new things. And logic, we are at not any moment expecting that you know how to work programmatically with logic just yet. We will teach you that, but there is some advance in knowing how to solve problems step by step. I know people that like to solve puzzles and things like that. It will is the kind of person that we are looking for. And I'm always, when I see this slide, I think basically we are looking for a Latinx, right? Nobody is so resilient and so autonomous as Latinx. And I say that as a first generation Latinx in the US. So I think I I always see this slide and think we really need to find Latinx to be in this program. Let me mouse is super sensitive. Okay, sorry about that. The application process, we will always have two courses in the year, one that start in January and one that start on July. So for the course that start on July, the application process will be from April to May, and for the course that start on July and January, the application process will be September, October. So we are right now in the application for the July course of 2022. Or per, per require is the JavaScript 113 exercise on Free Code Camp. And we have study groups to help you if you get stuck doing those exercises. We really know that working alone in your house, sometimes it could be very difficult, because at the moment that you get stuck, you don't have the knowledge yet to unstuck yourself, and you are the only one in your family doing this. You don't have somebody to reach out to ask for questions. So we are doing those study groups to help you. We will have each Tuesday until our deadline. So it's after 1 day after our deadline. So each Tuesday until April 12th. And we highly encourage you to come here, to come to those study groups. We will have volunteers and other people that are in your same situation, and we will talk about code. And it is a funny night. So uh, take advantage of that. We have a short interest form and a long application form. And when I say long, it's long. It's like 70 questions. So take your time to answer that. Saying that, if you submit your application before March 31, so Tuesday, tomorrow, you will be entered in a raffle to an Amazon car gift. So you could be working that tonight and doing that. If you submit your loan application and are eligible, we will invite you to two mandatory application workshops. And I will give you the dates of those, because at this moment we will have a huge group of applicants. So we divide that in groups to make it easy. And then you will be invited to a pairing with a staff, basically to do a code challenge problem with me. Then you will take a home code challenge, and you will have 3 days to solve that. And that's the last technical thing that you have to do in our application process. If you pass that, you will have a stat interview, a board interview, and then a financial aid conversation to see what will be your stipend. Um, what happened after the acceptance? Oh my God, my mouse. Okay. So you receive our acceptance letter, and you will receive with that email or student agreement and the stipend paperwork. It's basically your bank account and things like that. We will set up the people that need MacBooks, laptops, because they need to receive it very quickly, because you will have your onboarding day. And in that onboarding day, you will have to get to know the core, you will have the mentor machine, you will have picture as a group, and then you will start practicing something that we will use during the whole program, that is your personal pitch. And from the day of starting the onboarding day to the day that the core start, you will have like a month and 2 weeks of doing pre-work. And you need to expect about 10 hours of pre-work from week, because we use that pre-work basically to teach you JavaScript. So the way it works is, we are not expecting that you will fully understand or know how to work on JavaScript for the application process, um, but we need that you are very comfortable working with JavaScript and for the start day of the program. So you basically have like a month and a half to really learn how to work with things like arrays and objects and things like that. And you will be amazed how much you will learn because the pre-work has specific objects and checklists and the things that you need to do, and you will be amazed how much you can learn when you are following a curriculum like that. Um, so days to remember for our application. We have a study groups each Tuesday until April 12th from 6 to 8. The long application deadline is April 11 at noon. I will close that application that Sunday. If you pass and are eligible, you will be invited one of the workshops. For the first round, we open 2 dates because we have way too many people on the application. So the first one will be in the April 26th, or the second one April 28th. You just need to come on one of those days for the first round, but those are mandatory. If you don't show up, you will lose your place in the application. And the second round will be on May 3rd, on May 5th. Um, Both of those are in the evening from 6 to 9, so it's 3 hours of working. Be prepared for that. Um, then, according to the group that you were, per programming with me will be on May 6 or May 9, and then the code challenge from home, it will be May 9 or May 11, and it depends on your group, and staff and board interviews May 13 or May 16, and then you will receive acceptance emails on May 18, because onboarding day will be June 7th, and if you are accepted, you have from June 7th to July 27th to work on the pre-work. So basically, you will have a very, very busy summer, but you will be part of the Tectonica, so trade-off. This is our pre-required 110 lessons on free code. The basic JavaScript is huge, and be prepared to take the whole screen, because free code can change their UI. It used to be that you will see your name here at top of the screen, but now the only thing that we know that you are sign up is that we will see your profile here in the corner, in the right corner of the screen. So be prepared to take a huge screenshot of your free code camp exercise. And again, we have study groups to help you with these things. So you don't need to code by yourself. Come to the study groups and we will help you, and you will know people that is in the same journey that you. Um, so a little of the what is the program overview? What are we talking? What we talk about program? So our program is in Pacific times. So anything, each time that you see here is Pacific time. So we will go from 8 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. And sometimes you will have additional meetings in the afternoon, because uh, one thing that I will talk in a minute is that you will have a mentor, and usually those mentor hours are in the afternoon, after hours. But at least it's expected that you will be in front of your computer from 8 to 5 p.m. And we are a full stack in JavaScript program. That means that for the backend, you are learning Node, and in the front end, you are learning React. And we will teach you all those technologies, because at the end of the day, all that is just JavaScript. And that's the reason that we will do the pre-work, and we'll push you during the pre-work to really learn the basic of JavaScript, because everything that you will do in the program is, at the end of the day, just JavaScript. And we are a hands-on project-based program. It means that you will have like 2 months of learning technologies and new stuff, and then you will have like a month and a half doing projects, like weekly projects, individually or as a group. It depends of how you want to work it, but you will do at least 3 or 4 different projects before you do your final project. So at the end of the program, you will have a portfolio of projects. We have knowledge checks because we want to keep track of the things that you are learning and make sure that you are on track of on the correct path to learning. And we don't use those knowledge check as grade. We don't have grades, and we don't use those knowledge check to kick it off of the program. We use those knowledge check to see if you need additional help. It could happen that you don't understand some topics and they don't really make any click to you. So we will try to find a volunteer to help you, or a different project just for you, so you focus on that part of the program that doesn't make click to you. And that is why and how we use the knowledge checks. And then you will have the final project. That final project is individually, and you have 1 week of planning and 4 weeks of completely dedication to the final project. And some other programs call this your capstone project. We just call it your final project, but basically is the thing that you will present to in interviews, how you, because you will do this from scratch, the whole thing. We know that in the tech field, doing the technical interview is a different, completely different beast, and it's a completely different situation of the things that you do for coding day by day. So in the program, you will have interview practice and interview with partners and with volunteers. So you will gain that muscle, you will also work that muscle, and you will see an interview and realize, oh, I have done this before. So you will not be that nervous about your interviews. uh, Even if we found you a placement with one of our companies, you will have that training of interview practice and code challenge every single day. And then at the end of the program, once we place you with a company, if we place you with a company, they will give you back like a guide of the things that you need to learn for that internship. And the final month of the program, you basically will study that with help of our volunteers and your mentors. But basically, that last month is making you ready to be an intern in a technical in a tech company, which is awesome. And once you are in the placement, you will have check-ins every weekly with your manager, with Sarah, to see how you are doing, because we know that we need to keep helping you to be converted at full time. Um, I don't have the figures before the pandemic, but post pandemic, from the cohort that is already finishing that 6 months, 100% of the cohort was converted and offered conversion to um, full time. So awesome numbers. Um, this little program overview, I think I already talked about this, but very quickly, basically you will have 2.5 months of heavy learning, then 1.5 month of practicing doing projects, then the 1 month of your final project, and then the last month of learning the stack of your placement, your internship. Um, and what will be the daily schedule for this? So 8:30 you will have a morning stand up. 8:39 you will have a code challenge. 9:30 you have a code challenge review as a group. From 9:30 to 3 you will work on your own, following the guides that we did give you day by day. For 3 to 4 you will do programming practice, and from 4 to 5 we do wrap up. We have this schedule because we want to mimic the tech environment that you will face in your internship and in the rest of um, your job and your work. Tech companies has a stand up, tech company has a wrap up, and we want to prepare you to have these things, to see these meetings like something that is regular, is part of your routine, and not like something new and very scary. It's also part of our program. This is just a review of a sponsor. We have people working on Indeed, people working with I don't see here Freenom. We see people working with Blend, and these are photos of one of some of our volunteers. Basically, we rely heavily on volunteers. We are a nonprofit, and the staff of Tectonica is only 4 people. So most of the things that we did is because we have volunteers. Um, Things to consider. Don't feel discouraged if you don't get it the first time. You will see from our graduates or our participants, there is people that apply until 3 times before make it to the program. We're a very competitive program, and we receive a huge amount of applications. So don't feel bad if you don't get it the first time, but don't forget, we about us, we are the opportunity that you are looking for to enter the tech industry. Um, so don't forget, applications are open until April 11 at noon. And if you have any questions, please go to tectonica.org/full-time program. and there is all the information that I just told you. And if you have questions, just drop me an email, and I promise that I will answer those questions. Also, if you submit your form by tomorrow, you can enter into to win an Amazon gift card, um, and you can be the lucky one. Um, yeah, now let's do the Latinx laptop given away. Michelle, do we have a winner already?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So the winner is Betsaida Valdivia. I don't know if I pronounce your name correctly, but we will communicate with you.
Yay. Also, I just checked, and we have one more we can give away. So, Maria Dela Cruz, you get the other one. Hooray.
You, hoo, hooray! Super. And now let's hear about Sarah. Sarah was one of graduates. I will stop sharing so we can see her. Um, Hi, Sarah. Can you tell us about your experience in the program?
Yeah, so I was part of the 2021 H2 cohort. And I recently started my internship. I am interning with Flickr. Um, I'm working largely as a front end, but full stack overall engineer for them. I was in education for 10 years before I transferred into this program and into tech. Um, I was one of the very lucky ones who got in on my first try. Um, and yeah, the program is definitely intense. It's like no joke. You will definitely be working full out. I wouldn't recommend having a job while you're doing this program, um, which is why the financial aid is really amazing because I'm the breadwinner in my household. And I couldn't have done this without the financial aid with Tectonica. Well, Christina, what do you want me to talk about?
Don't worry, Sarah. You are doing great. Thank you so much for being here. I don't know. Can you tell us how was your application process? How did you?
Yes, the application process is intense. So that long form, that's no joke. That's a long form. So I started my application really early because I had my one and only friend in tech had worked as a volunteer with Techtonica in the past and told me like, "Yo, if you want to do this and you're serious about it, like let's go, let's do this." So I started really early and like worked really hard on it. But yeah, it's a really good it's a really good application. I believe that the application really does screen for the values that Tectonica is looking for. I'm currently mentoring a person who's applying to the program, and so I've looked at it more recently, and I think it really does screen for those values that Tectonica is looking for. But I would definitely say start working on that 113 code camp questions sooner rather than later. It took me much longer than 6 hours to get through them. So I would not leave that till 6 hours before the deadline and be like, "Duh, duh, duh, duh." Like I would definitely do that well ahead of time.
Sarah, I didn't go to the college here, so I can answer this question, but they are asking if this program is more intense than college here or less intense. What did you think about it?
I think it's more intense, honestly. I have a master's degree, and I honestly think it's about. I did my master's degree in 1 year, and I think that the intensity level is about the same level as my 1 year master's degree, where you really are working 8 to 5. Like I honestly feel like it's much more intense than the work that I'm doing at Flickr right now. Um, but yeah, it's I would say it's on the same level as a master's degree as far as intensity.
And did you have any experience before on coding before applying to Tectonica?
I had 2 months, so um, I I started just trying to mess around. I used an app called Mimo. I would highly recommend it to anyone who's interested in getting into coding. Um, I'll put it in the chat too, so that y'all can look it up. It's that was my only experience was that, and then I had applied for Stanford's Code in Place. Thanks, Michelle. I had also applied to Stanford's Code in Place program, which is a free program offered by Stanford, and I had gotten into that. But that was it. I had 6 weeks from Stanford, and then I had Mimo, and I like kind of messed around and like created silly websites. Like I created a Bad Bunny fan page. Um, so yeah, that was my only like little amount of experience was just like messing around and doing stuff.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sarah. And how was the transition from Tectonica to your internship? How was that first week on your in your placement?
It was lovely. It was really wonderful. My internship, I love my internship. I really enjoy the people I get to work with. They were super welcoming. They treated me like I was just anyone else getting brought into the company. I really love Flickr. So yeah, it was a really good experience.
Perfect. I know that I'm passionate about bringing people in the tech because tech changed my life completely. What do you think about entering to tech? What can you say to people about that?
Yeah, tech has totally changed my life as well. Like I'm still in the little in between phase because I haven't gotten the full time position yet. But I was coming from working at a charter school and working 80 to 90 hours a week, getting paid the same amount that I'm getting paid now in my internship after 10 years of working in education. So I was not getting paid well. I was very, very burnt out. My mental health was just like in the pits. So I think like now, like I'm very happy. Like I have time for my family, for myself, and I'm already getting paid like the same amount that I was, which is insane to me. So I think tech has already changed my life in a lot of ways. I'm just waiting for that full time to like really cement it.
And I'm pretty sure that you will get it. Don't worry about that. Yeah. Okay, now let's hear about Gabi. Gabi is one of our current participants. She's currently in the cohort. So, Gabi, how is your experience in Tectonica?
Yeah, hi everyone. My experience so far has been really great. Like Sarah mentioned, it is really challenging. I think if you're not sure if you know this is for you or coding is for you, this is where you really find out because you know there will be times where you know I felt just like, oh my goodness, am I getting this? Am I understanding this? I know it's part of the process. So I've just learned to like accept it and continue along. And then at some point things click. And when they click, it's like the most amazing thing in the world because, you know, like you can do it and it's possible and other people have done it. And it's this great feeling. And also, there's a lot of support. So, like Christina mentioned, there are mentors who volunteer. I have 2 mentors. There's like a tech help channel. There's Christina and there's Sarah. And whenever I feel like I'm worried about if I'm not understanding something or I don't know, I just have a question and I reach out to someone and people are respond really fast. That's almost surprising how fast people are able to answer a question. And so you know, you never feel like you're alone and like you're doing this alone. There's also the rest of the cohort that you know, we get along and we ask each other questions and we support each other and encourage each other. So it's been a really great experience.
Thank you so much, Gabi. And what is your take about the college question? Do you think that the Tectonica program is more challenging the college or less challenge?
Yeah, I think personally, so I have my bachelor's in criminology, and it was intense in a different way. I did a lot of reading, and a lot of writing, and this is like completely different for me. This is just very different from anything that I've done before. But it's like I said, even though I do find it more challenging, I find that there's a lot more support than I had in college.
And can you tell us a little about your application process? How was your application process?
Yeah, so I actually found out about Tectonica in a Discord channel. So when I decided I wanted to start learning, I joined a lot of groups. And there was a resource page in one of the groups, and I liked to go through it and just see what was out there. And I found out about Tectonica. I think I found out like 2 to 3 days before the deadline. So I did not make that first one. I think I finished like the day after. So I was really like a little upset that I missed the deadline by such a small amount of time. Um, and then I stayed on the list. I think once you join, I don't know how it works, but I got a notification that the application was open again. And I was like, okay, cool, because I'm already, pretty much done with the 113 lessons. But I started over because at this point I had a lot of time and I didn't want to rush through it again. So I attended all of the optional sessions. And sometimes it was just like a handful of us, but then I got to learn a little bit more about the program and ask questions. So I thought that was really great. If you do have the time and you are able to attend, start early, and just kind of see what it's like to complete those 113 lessons. Sometimes, if it's brand new to you, like it was to me, then you might have questions, and it's okay. Like, go and ask them, even if you think they're kind of silly.
Yeah, we don't believe there are silly questions, and if you are questioning about that, it's probably that somebody else have the same question. So really
Yeah.
encourage to people to answer, to ask questions.
Hmm.
Okay, I think this is time for Q&A. So I
Wait,
don't.
I
Uh-huh.
think there are already a few questions in the
Okay.
chat for
Um.
Gabby. I don't know if you can see those, Gabby.
Um,
I
oh,
think the
what
first is how
encouraged
do you
me
decompress
to join
to
the
be okay?
program? Oh, there's one before that. How do you? Uh I guess, I don't know. I think for me, I like to read, so I take some time away and, read something or go for a walk, go outside. But honestly, I really like figuring things out. So when I'm stuck on something, I'm like, I really want to, solve this, or, just find something that guides me in the right path. But I think if you really pay attention to how you're feeling, then is it time for me to step away and maybe come back to it? And sometimes you catch what you were looking for, like right when you come back, and it just required for you to like step away so that you could see things clearly. Yeah, I don't know if Sarah wants to answer this question as well.
Yeah, I answered it in the chat a little bit. For me, it was really important to put really strong boundaries around my time. So I didn't start before 8. I didn't do anything after 5. So it was very, very important for me to do that, and then to also have a lunch break. And I also think it's really helpful. Tectonica has a weekly meditation hour. So like being able to meditate once a week. I honestly, when I started the program, I was like, that's hokey. I don't know about this. But once I like actually got into it and started doing it, it was very helpful.
Yeah, I have the same feeling about the meditation. Actually, the first time I was like, I don't know about this, and now it is part of my routine. Um,
And to
Gabby,
the
yeah, somebody
other
is asking you
question.
what encouraged you to join the program since you were doing criminal justice?
Yeah. So what encouraged me is I've always wanted to learn a little bit more. I took a class in community college on accident that was for computer science majors, but it was like a super introductory level course. And I struggled through, but after that, I was curious about it. And didn't do it because like honestly, I felt like maybe I'm not smart enough. Like this sounds really intense and there's so much to learn. It's like never ending. And so I was intimidated by it. And also I think just like pressure from family of like go into law, you know, do criminal justice or criminology and then go to law school. And while I was actually at university, I my friends were just happened to be like computer science majors, and so we would all hang out and they would talk about what they were learning a lot. And I could see that they were having a really hard time. But it just seemed like it was really rewarding, like once they made it through a class and, you know, just like everything that they had learned. And so then I started kind of poking around and trying to learn. I started with like HTML, CSS, but JavaScript was just like a whole other thing. And I realized I needed support from somewhere, you know, and it's not like you can just ask your parents or family members or, you know, once you're done with university, it's hard to find maybe people who are in that field who you can ask for support or guidance or help. And so that's why I started joining the groups. I started joining and trying to learn a little bit more.
And Sarah, let's hear about you. What encouraged you to join tech?
So I was teaching, and I'm normally a social science and English teacher. And I got a job back in California. I was in Chicago at the time. And I got a job back home in California, and they were like, "Come teach sixth grade social sciences." And I was like, "Ah, great." So then I came, and they were like, "Oh, actually, you know what? We need you to teach STEM to first graders." And I was like, "Oh, that's not what I do. Do I have a job if I don't do this?" And they were like, "No." And I was like, "Okay, well, then I guess this is what I'm doing this year." Um, so I was actually coding with the kids and doing logic problems with the kids in school. And I started being like, "Oh, this is interesting." And then I started like looking at all the different programs that we were using and like thinking about like, oh, how does this information like get through the internet from this person to me or me to this person, and like how does this all actually work? And I realized that I was like more interested in how that worked than the pedagogy of what I was doing. I was like, that's not good. So I started realizing that I needed to make a shift and I needed to make a change. Yeah.
Michelle, how you decompress after a heavy day?
You're asking me?
Uh-huh.
Oh. uh, Actually, it's funny you should ask because we just implemented a new thing at Tectonica called a WRAP, WRAP. It stands for Wellness Recovery Action Plan. And basically, it's a plan for each person to know how to recognize things that stress them out and early signs of being overwhelmed and how to manage that when you get overwhelmed. Yes, Sarah, thank you. So I just put mine together and I had things like go for a walk or go eat some chocolate. Reading is also a good one for me, but mainly getting away from the computer is a big one because sometimes you're just like you're staring at this piece of plastic and metal all day long and you get to the edge of how long you can do that. So yeah, that's for me. How about you, Christina?
Yeah, pretty similar. I think I go to walk my dog, and the endorphins of walking the dog is always a nice different situation of staring the computer. And for me now that the weather is better, going to see flowers and taking picture of the trees and the flowers and thinking about the spring, it will change my mind and my frame. And if I need to get back to work, as Gabi was saying, then you realize where's your, like, I last night after 10 p.m. I realized what was my error doing the update, and it was like, ha, now I know where I did it wrong, and things like that. So yeah, um, get it outside and go to the nature. It's basically the things that I do. I don't know. Yeah, I see another question. I think this is for both of you because both of you are already learning this. What did you find easier to learn, React or Node?
I mean, that's really easy for me. React was hard for me, but was much easier than Node. Node for me was very stressful. I'm definitely have realized and have embraced that I am more comfortable in the front end. So Node was very hard for me.
Gabi, what do you think?
I think probably React. Um, I don't know. I think I just when I look at it, it makes sense. And so I think it came a little bit smoother. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, I don't know if we have more questions in the chat or people that want to jump in and make ask questions for us. Okay, so I think that was all for us. We really want to encourage you to apply and don't feel discouraged if you didn't get it this time. As Gary was saying, once you are in our list, you will still in our list forever. So you will receive our updates and you will see other opportunities. And we have study groups even after the application process. We do once a month study groups for people that want to learn JavaScript and things like that. Um, Yes, you will be in the list unless you ask to be removed. If you ask me, I will remove me, but only if you ask me. um, and yeah, feel free to connect to us. Feel free to ask any question. You have my email. If you still feel that you don't understand some part of the process or how we do things, feel free to reach out. Um, we really want to see Latin people in Tectonica because, as I say all the time, and the tech industry changed my life completely, and um, I having now opportunities that I'm the only one in my family having opportunities. I could buy a house and have time off and take vacations. I'm the only person in my family doing these things, and it's because I'm in tech. So I really want to see more people, more Latinx people doing taking this path, and it's super rewarding. Michelle, I don't know if you want to say something else.
I'm just so excited to see you all here. Thanks for joining.
Yes, thank you so much for coming. And we will communicate with the winners for today and let you know that you have a laptop now.